Right now, thousands of migrants from the southern border are staying at shelters in Denver, a lot more than there were just a few months ago.
9 News reporter Courtney Yoon is joining us live. And Courtney, we're now seeing this renewed ask again from the city for help and asking for some changes to policy.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Corey and Anusha. Denver Human Services changed their length of stay policy because of the most recent influx of migrants. Individual adults used to be able to stay 21 days. Now that's down to 14. However, families can stay longer, going from 30 days to 37 days. Now, Denver has served 23,000 people since January. Around 300 new people are arriving every day. In September, that number was 125. So far, it's cost the city at least $26 million. DHS says their systems are strained, and these policy changes are necessary to process the influx of migrants more quickly. DHS is also calling on other cities to step up so they can help people fleeing violence like Brandon Diaz.
Yo vengo de Colombia, donde la violencia es muy fuerte.
If you want to stay, that's great. We'll get you set up in a shelter. We'll try to connect you with a nonprofit. If you don't want to stay, if you have family and friends somewhere else, we'll buy you a ticket. We'll figure out where you need to go to get that support.
DHS says it's relying heavily on Denver employees, paying them time and a half to staff these shelters. They're also asking people for winter clothing donations. Corey, Anusha.
All right, thanks so much for that update, Courtney.
Aurora police say they have arrested 2 more people in the deadly shooting of a man in the Del Mar Park neighborhood back in August. APD says the 2 suspects are 18 and 15 years old. The 18-year-old Ahmed Mohammed was arrested in a stolen car Friday. Investigators say he was involved in the incident where suspects stole a scooter, then shot and killed a man on Paris Street. The 15-year-old is not being identified because he's a minor. Last month, police arrested a 16-year-old for his involvement in the shooting.
The suspect accused of hitting and killing a parole officer in Colorado Springs is set to be back in court tomorrow. Police say Justin Kula ran over Christine Guerin-Sandoval late last month. His first court appearance was yesterday, but the district attorney did not file formal charges. According to an affidavit, Kula thought that he was being robbed when he hit Guerin-Sandoval and another officer. Detectives say Kula had just used meth and heroin. A Colorado Springs detective who reviewed the body camera video says 3 officers approached Kula. They were in unmarked cars and did not identify themselves. They also did not have emergency lights flashing.
Developing this morning, detectives in Jefferson County are investigating a crime they're calling disturbing. They say somebody snuck into a cemetery in Wheat Ridge this week, broke into a marble mausoleum, opened a casket, and stole some of the remains inside. Investigators say they're having trouble contacting the person's family. Until they do find that family and notify them, investigators and 9 News aren't sharing the name of the mausoleum publicly. But the people buried inside lived and died in the early 1900s. Investigators say they still don't know why someone did this.
So many people were saying, who does this? Who does this? For so many reasons. It's disturbing, and it's awful, and it's sad. And it's a felony charge.
Jeffco says whoever did this will face a long list of felony charges like burglary, abuse of a corpse, maybe even theft. They're trying to figure out what kind of surveillance is available and hope anyone who saw something will give them a call.
New overnight, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Tel Aviv to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel President Isaac Herzog. He landed there just a few hours ago. We now know that at least 2,600 people have died in Israel and Gaza. More than 260,000 people in Gaza have been displaced. This morning, the Israeli Defense Force says the fighting is only going to get more intense. This recent round of violence started on Saturday in that unprecedented attack by Hamas. Now Israeli troops are preparing for a possible ground offensive in Gaza. Entire neighborhoods are already destroyed. Palestinians are lining up outside bakeries and grocery stores to find food as Israel has stopped all deliveries of food, water, and cut off electricity. At the same time, Hamas is launching a big missile attack against southern Israel. Many explosions have been reported in the city of Ashkelon, which is right in between Gaza and Tel Aviv. Right now, we do know that some Americans are being held hostage by Hamas. In total, there are about 200,000 Americans in Israel. President Joe Biden says his administration is working to get them home.
It's 6:06 right now on your Thursday morning, and President Biden is coming to Colorado next week. We don't know much yet about the schedule, but the White House says he'll be here on Monday. The president has made a couple trips here over the last year. He spoke at the Air Force Academy graduation in May, and he was here last October to designate Camp Hale a national monument. The White House did not say which part of the state he'll visit next week or what he will be discussing. We'll keep you updated as we hear more.
In Washington, the House could vote on its new speaker as soon as today. Republicans officially nominated Louisiana Representative Steve Scalise to fill that role, but it is not a done deal yet. The final tally from the secret ballot vote was 113 for Scalise, 99 for Jim Jordan. But for Scalise to formally become speaker, though, he will need 217 votes, a majority of the entire House. Scalise will likely spend most of the morning trying to gather more votes for him. The House could call a vote as soon as they reconvene at 10 o'clock this morning.
New this morning, Hollywood studios and the Actors Union are pressing pause on negotiations. Studio execs say they're suspending talks because the two sides are just too far apart right now. Actors have been on strike since mid-July, and they just started negotiating for the first time last week. They're asking for better pay for streaming platforms and protections against artificial intelligence. Studios say the union's proposal for a contract is too expensive.
The United Auto Workers strike is growing this morning. 8,700 workers at the Ford plant in Kentucky are now on strike. That is the plant that makes some of Ford's pickup trucks and SUVs. The two sides could not agree on a contract. The UAW strike first started almost a month ago now. In total, about 25,000 workers have walked off the job, and it's become the most expensive auto strike in a century.
One thing you want to know about the weather is the eclipse. The path of the annular solar eclipse under the green area, you will see a total eclipse that's just southwestern Colorado. Any place on either side of that band, and you'll see less percentage of a total eclipse.